Da, 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 da. Da, 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 da. Okay, we saw here. Hey! And obviously we got the lovely Raven, as always.
I'm glad I made you laugh, DJ.
Oh, that's not too hard. Well,
Anyway,
yes, anyway, I guess you're going to be taking over on Maku's space. I am supposedly, guess he's out working, doing whatever, train stuff, because he likes trains.
I like trains.
Woo woo! Oh. And I have no idea when what happened to Morgan. He was supposed to have joined us with us, but who knows? With him.
I don't know.
Yeah, me neither.
Anyway, I don't think I'm going to be hanging around for very long because I have to get to an art meet tonight.
Da da da!
Dung. Yeah. But anyway, I have good news, I have bad news, and I have WTF news.
Oh, goody. We love WTFs.
Aw, seems like nobody else is gonna answer aside. Nobody else is gonna answer aside from me. That's sad.
Aww. Oh well. We go ahead and go up on solo simply because we already got quite a bit of a list already. Woo! Okay. But anyways, your good, bad WTFs?
1 second, I'm actually talking to the person that's holding the art meet.
Uh-oh.
Evidently, maybe I don't have the art meet to deal with. I don't know.
Raven is in limbo. Well, she goes on to discuss about, well, find out about what situation is of her. Apparently, we're actually going to be doing a few things as well.
Which would be...
Well, apparently, we'll be hosting the Horizon Music and Art Show, which will be coming down over here on December 11th at the Ritter Art Gallery, or Ritter Art 96, should I say.
Okay.
This will be from noon to 6, and of course, we will be doing it live. Yay!
Yay!
It'll actually be a special kind of broadcast, I guess you go ahead and say. Or presents. Yes, that's what it's going to be. And of course, we will no longer be doing any type of AV editing simply because I have way too much things going on as of lately that unfortunately that I have faltered a bit on some of this stuff. So in order to go ahead and keep doing the show and whatnot, all of our programs will be live.
Cool.
Yes, so you get to listen to all our dupes and goofy moments.
Derp. Derp, 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 derp. You have no idea how funny it is to hear Cord Kitty derp his head off sometimes.
Oh my goodness.
I swear, if we were getting money for this, there should be just a blooper reel for every one of the regulars. That would be one hell of a holiday donation drive. Hear how badly we derp, including the one thing that Cord Kitty said, because he used 4 out of the 7 things that you cannot say on television in his cast within the same 90 seconds.
Yeah, I find that ironic with him, simply because he tries to keep staying on a PG-13 rated level, but
Ah,
yet
fuck.
he's the only one
F
that.
bomb more than he drops the F bomb more than people light up fireworks to the
Stand by.
4th of July. Although, record a peace offering just to confuse the fur off of him. I don't know. We really don't argue that much, to be honest. I just know that if he's going to zing me to me, I'm going to just deflect it back to him. Because I have that. Mm, mm. What was the last? What was the last guess that you would call odd? I'm still here now. Oh noes! Yeah, especially since all the characters have now been announced. Hmm. 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 But then again, it's just the next. It's just the next major thing in mainstream media to do with all the animals. What? Yeah, that's me tripping over my tongue. It's already over with taffy because of where I was earlier today. I was actually at a little craft show, only about 70 vendors, and more than a few of them were offering noms. So I'm like, free samples? Yes, please. Well, that, and there was a lot of replication and things you had. There was all kinds of, kitschy stuff because it was themed for Christmas. It was a holiday bazaar. Um, Lots of people that knit, sewed, quilted, made, of course, homemade jams and jellies. The Jam Sisters were there. They're kind of a local thing around here. People making homemade fudge, running smaller concessions, things like that. It was just wall to wall shiny things. Oh my gosh, there was one place, and I'm just gonna fangasm a little because of my own industry, so bear with me. But there was this couple that got two booth spaces, and they had it so professionally set up. It's like, I want to inspire to this is what my mobile boutique should look like, because they just had their own, instead of just, know, having just everything down the end if you're just passing by, which is kind of boring. They had everything up on shiny fabric covered pieces. These professional cases, like really like industry standard stuff is like those are cool. And I thought they actually bought them. No, the guy that was there, he made them, and he was telling me about how he made them. I'm like, dude, I need to talk to you.
Wow.
I didn't say that out loud, but I probably will later today. It's like, dude.
Do you even know?
If I'm gonna continue with the fair and festival circuit, yeah. But it was fun. It was fun. We got a gift for
My goodness. Sounds like
my
you're breaking
nephew
up quite a bit.
for Christmas, and I got a little angel for herself. I'll probably post a picture of it later on the FAs and the DAs and all that stuff. It's like, ooh, just cute things that you can make out of nothing more than a washcloth, a pot holder, and a kitchen towel. And it's all artsy and craftsy, and yay.
Yeah, he seems to be breaking out a little bit there every now and then.
Yeah, sorry about that. Anyway, let's see if I can. You know what? I think I have half clue of why. There.
Maybe.
Am I sounding any better, or am I breaking up?
No, you sound a little bit more better.
Okay, cool.
Cool beans.
Meow.
Woof. Apparently what was previously known about Zootopia and the cast have actually been expanded into the whole dozen, which of course includes some of the names of Shakira as Gazelle. Apparently, surprise, surprise, a pop star singer.
Mm-hmm.
J.K. Simmons as the Mayor Lionheart. That actually is, yeah, we know where that comes from.
And Miss Otterton. I know there are some people that have complained about how come you didn't come up with more creative names. It's like, would you rather have them be named Bob and Sally?
Well, I'll give them...
Serious question.
Well, you know what? I'll actually go ahead and agree with that, simply because Gazelle, the name, yeah, it's just not all that creative whatsoever. It's named after the animal!
Yeah.
So yeah, I'll go ahead and make a big stink about that one, but aside from that one, And of course, the perennial favorite prediction for the next James Bond as well. Yes, James Bond can potentially be black for the next movies. Apparently, Idris Elba as a Cape Buffalo named Chief Bogo. I actually like that. Bogo. And of course, I do believe we've actually went ahead and lost Raven again.
No, I'm still here.
I stopped hearing static. That's the reason why I keep on thinking I'm losing you. Yeah, as I have actually previously stated as well.
I'm still here. I just know that you are chopping up very badly. It's like you are sliced and diced into julienne fries.
Oh, really?
I don't know if it's which end it's on.
I think it might be your end, simply because you're the one that keeps on breaking in and out.
Well, do you want to just restart the call and hopefully things will work itself out?
Well, how am I right now? Am I choppy or...
I can hear you fine.
Okay.
How do I sound?
Right now, you're crystal clear.
Cool! Happy kitty dance.
Oh, jeez, you gotta go ahead and do the kitty dance, don't you?
Yes, I do. This is a thing. I must do the dance of my furry brethrens.
I've seen some very, very interesting movie. Well, clips off of YouTube. Apparently with Princess Tutu that sings and dances along to the kitty song.
Okay.
I'll actually go ahead and show you a link one of these days. It'll be one of those WTF moments.
I know what Princess Tutu is, so I'm not sure how much WTF it is, but I will take a look at it. And if I face Paul, then you have succeeded in WTFing me.
Woo! Oh, 10 points from work. Apparently, Weasel is actually looking to go ahead and expand their staff as well. Apparently, they are searching for moderators and code developers for their site. This is one of the more interesting things simply because we're actually seeing other sites updating as of lately. I know Furry for Life, they have actually taken themselves down not too long ago. They're still down. They're trying to go ahead and relocate their site to a new server in order to go ahead and hold up to the demands.
Mm-hmm.
And no word yet as to when Furry for Life will be up. But apparently Weasel is actually now expanding outward too. I don't know if this is all a chain reaction or if everybody has decided to go ahead and start merging corporations, updating sites, and making changes all at once. But apparently, it's quite ironic, really. It's simply because of all of the takes that's been going on as of lately with all of these furry sites.
I don't know. Maybe it's just because, like, oh my gosh, we have all this work to get done before the end of the year, and nobody really wants to work on the holidays, so we might as well get the ball rolling on things like this, so we don't have to worry about this come January. I have no idea. I'm not a part of the Weasel yet. That might change come the beginning of the year, because there's going to be many changes for me. But anyway, hopefully if Weasley, however you pronounce it, is doing well enough for itself to want to expand and to do more, hopefully they can find enough individuals to fulfill the roles that they need.
Yeah, it's just all speculation, really, as to why all of a sudden they do this all at one time. I mean, it could simply because of the DDoS attacks. It could have been simply because in the wake of IMVU merging with Fur Affinity. Oh my goodness.
I do not know.
Yeah. All the good stuffs. But what is known is that interested applicants can apply on their website through their forum, where you'll also see what requirements are for both of these positions. And the deadlines to submit your application is November 29th. So if you're interested in doing either of those, you have less than a week to do so. As a matter of fact, have you ever went ahead and did moderation or anything like that? Raven? Have you ever moderated for a website? We're losing our folks!
Oh, damn it. No, I don't think I've ever moderated for a website before. Moderated for a chat, sure. Moderated for a stream, sure. But not really for a mod site or a website.
And of course, this is actually something that you're thinking of.
I think I have enough going on right now in my life than to worry about moderating for another website, like my own business website, to deal with.
Actually, I never even knew you had a website. Well, aside from that. for Affinity little thing that you got going on.
Yes, I do. I've had a business website for the last 4 years. Yeah.
Wow.
Had a business website for the last 4 years, but unfortunately it is in such a state of disrepair because I do better things making the shinies than I am a web. I'm not a web developer. I'm not a web host. I'm not anything like that. So I'm trying to find one of a couple people that have applied so I could just outsource that and get it updated like twice a month or anytime I have special events and be like, hey, you know how to do this thing, you do the thing you do. Yeah.
Yeah, it was pretty much. Yeah.
Yeah, and strangely enough, the when I started commenting, well, more so it's like rah complaining because I had so much stuff I had to get done and my website was in shambles because I haven't updated it in 2 months, and I was kind of embarrassed through that. I had a couple of people that was like just volunteered. It's like, hey, I'll take a look at your website. I'll see what I can do. And one of those people was actually a design student that's going to school for this.
Nice.
So I'm like, okay, I might have hit pay dirt.
Just maybe.
And we spent, I think it was close to 3 hours just going over various sections of my website and absolutely everything I was doing wrong.
Yeah, sounds pretty much like how I was when we used to have a site for our podcast station. It's a lot like myself. It's all the bright, shiny new things and ideas and whatnot, but however, when it comes to keeping it up and, of course, making changes on it as well, such as, website stuff.
Yeah. So
yeah, so that's actually the reason why we no longer have one, and the reason why I just pretty much keep all of the information updated onto our social sites.
okay, that works. But it's good to have a hub if you did decide to have somebody else, managing the website and keeping that updated, because that's what I'm trying to do, or at least that was the original goal of having my website, is I would have a hub for, hey, this is what's going on as far as I'm concerned, what events I'm running, what sales I'm doing, what things I'm working on, blarty, blarty, blarty. And then I would just cross-post to 7 different sites, some social media, some art sites, and my personal blog.
Oh, yeah. As a matter of fact, Skuga was the one that was supposed to have been doing all of that for us, but Skuga is, well, Skuga.
Well, things happen. I can understand that. It's very similar to what I had to go through earlier this year for one of the groups on FA that I mod, and I'm now senior mod, oddly enough, because everybody else has left and other things they've been kept busy with for FALAH, for FA Lens in Hand. Mm-hmm. So I hired a mod that's been doing an excellent job, and recently we hired another mod who just had their first post to the group yesterday. And I spent probably close to 2 hours today just training them, and this is how we do things. And strangely enough, I got thanked just a few minutes ago for being so insightful and so patient. It's like, I'm not really seeing myself like that. I just see myself, I've done this for the bulk of 6 years before, before the group found me. Well, 2 years before the group found me, and me modding for 4 years, so helping out and doing this thing for 6 years.
Oh yeah, it becomes second nature really whenever you start doing all of that stuff, and of course, the reality is though, every little bit helps a whole lot.
You have no idea. You absolutely have no idea, so I'm going to give you a very good idea.
Uh-oh.
Okay. I took let's just do a little bit of story time. I took another group that I also mod for. I really need to find another mod for it as well. I can't do this by myself with everything going on in my life. But there was a group that I joined. Just I came across it in the FA directory called the Crafters Guild. So I joined it, and 6, 7 months later, there had been no posts, no submissions, just nothing as far as activity. So I'm like, okay, so when was the last time people were active? 2.5 years ago? Okay. I kind of wanted to take over this site because I felt kind of bad for the 150 individuals that are watching this group that are crafters like me, because people think about art, they think about people that draw, they think about people that paint, they don't think about the crafters automatically, or at least that's my perception, being a crafter myself. Mm-hmm. So I figured that I would take over the group, but I didn't have a clue how to until FA was doing all their updates, and that became a change to the site rules. So I posted publicly about how I wanted to take over this, and I've contacted the group owner and blarty blarty, and I finally, back in March, got a response that, oh, by the way, you could have group access. Yay! So our tiny little group went from, I think when I joined was something, I joined it, I took over, it was somewhere around maybe 120 people. And now I'm looking at it right now, it's 190 people.
Oh, jeez.
Just from a couple of months.
Just only.
Yeah.
Yeah, apparently... Yeah, we got at least about an average of 200 individuals that listen to us, but whenever you go ahead and start I never had the responsibility of managing the entire crowd, though, simply because the reality is, I don't really give a care about it.
Okay.
Hence the reason why Andy Mack is the one that's supposed to be responsible for quote-unquote crowd control in the event of situations were to happen.
Okay.
Well, basically what it is that I just don't really like people all that much.
Just people in general, or certain people?
Well, the reality is that even though I have the perception of being a very outgoing type, and of course I can easily talk for hours on end as well too, with various types of stories and whatnot, but the reality is it's tiring. Of course, the interactions, being outgoing, years of DJ work as well, too. That's actually the reason why, part of the reason why that I went ahead and left the DJing work, simply because handling crowds is just tiresome for me. And, of course, okay. My turn for story time.
Yay! Story time!
Previous years were during the time when Mr. Ark was an official DJ on the road doing DJing stuff. One of the more interesting things that he would always come across with is not only with the crowds, but sometimes the venues themselves, the people that run the venues. I recall of this one time back in San Francisco, was probably, 2.5, 3 years ago. Recent place, just recently opened. San Francisco is a real interesting place because there's plenty of people, plenty of very colorful people, and there's a whole bunch of opportunity to go ahead and take out down over there. However, there's also a little bit of competition as well, simply because there's like a whole bunch of people going after for the same thing. So we were lucky enough to go ahead and get this guy booked simply because he just barely is opening at this club. And I don't think he knew exactly what he was doing, or if he had any type of previous experience or anything like that on managing underground stuff like what we were doing. Because, long story short, around that, one of the things that you want to go ahead and be considered about are the fire systems. You want to go ahead and at least disable some of those, because I can tell you right now, if you don't, the entire fire system will be going off during smoke screens and whatnot. And that's exactly what it did, and we nearly lost at least about $5,000 of equipment due to the fire sprinklers that went off down over there. Interesting enough, it was a real nice wet t-shirt contest. But yes, this is actually part of the reason why I am not very much of a people person.
Wow.
Yes, well, I got...
But
like
still,
I said,
you do things like... But still, you do things to, reach out and be social, even if you're not all over the place. Must be social all the time.
oh my.
I'm pretty sure you've met an individual or a group of individuals that's pretty much their existence. Must be social at all times. Rawr.
Oh geez, plenty, yes. They're quite the outroverts, I guess you'd go ahead and say.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, of course, let me see, another time. Oh yeah, there was also another one where down over there in Irvine, Marriott. Love the place. Mm-hmm. Okay, well, with that one, I had my B2B DJ partner down over there. We were through for the night, getting off down over there, off the stage, and of course having another DJ to go ahead and take over. I was about to go ahead and call all night, heading down over there into one of the halls down over there. One of these girls come out of this bathroom. She goes ahead and says, "You guys, they got these new toilets you want to go ahead and try out. They fit your face perfectly." Obviously, she had a little bit too much to drink that night.
Yeah, I think so. Just a little bit.
Just a little bit. Well, come to find out, the toilets that she was referring to were the urinals in the guys' bathrooms.
Yeah, that's what I thought it was.
Yeah, but of course they fit the face. But yeah, that's one of the many reasons why I got out of the DJing business. Well, particularly of being on the road parts. And reason why I'm not very big on handling or dealing with people, because people are a little bit cray-cray.
Well, then again, everybody's a little bit cray-cray because being normal is overrated.
True. That it is. My goodness, we have talked so dang much that we just completely derailed over on our subjects, didn't we?
I guess so.
Welcome to the Omega Republic, where our topics are randomness and derailments. Well, apparently there is one more, a couple more things that are on the subject for today. On the furry side, at least.
Oh?
Yes. Apparently, cybernetic roaches could very well be the next first responder under a natural disaster. This one is pretty well interesting. So apparently, I guess they're trying to go ahead and make Uncle Kagi's more of, only less drunk. Apparently, when you have dark holes that are hard to gain access to, and I'm not describing my ex either, first responders often have only minutes to find survivors who are trapped. And of course, Alper, I'm going to butcher his name. I always do. I butcher somebody's name. Alper Boskert will say, hey, I actually might be right. I might have butchered it too much. A biological engineer at North Carolina State University is actually recruiting emergency personnel from a speedy but unlikely community of cockroaches. So basically, you very well could be finding yourself face to face with an African hissing cockroach if you're trapped underneath a building. Apparently, to build his cyber roaches, Boskert actually straps tiny backpacks containing microchips onto the insects. As he explains, after an earthquake, the scientists behind the Cyber Roach project, I guess that's what they're going to be naming the project now, Cyber Roach, can use remote controls to move the bugs in different directions, exploring the nooks and crannies underneath rubble to locate survivors and broadcast their coordinates back to a human rescue team. Cyber Roach is just the start of training insects to bring up information from spaces humans cannot go. And of course, we've actually seen in mechanical robots being made in order to go ahead and gain access into these hard to reach spots as well too. Apparently, DARPA has actually started funding research for using beetles as surveillance drones. Well, not like a fish or anything else too, but they gotta go ahead and implement beetles. Was to go ahead and spy on ya. Kind of like CIA stuff all together right there. Apparently, if you're interested in training your own roach to spy on your neighbor's whereabouts, for your next DIY project, you can go ahead and buy a Cyber Roach kit. Yes, you can buy this all online, apparently. Insect not included, though, but I'm sure you'd be able to find one underneath the fridge or something, somewhere. Maybe your neighbor's place, too. I don't really see this going very well too far. One of the main things that I could go ahead and see as a complicated problem is that there are quite a bit of people who have phobias of insects, and they're not very fond of cockroaches particularly as well. On the upside, the screams will make it more easier to go ahead and locate the individual that may be trapped underneath the building once they see these things. And I do believe we've dropped, what's your face? Raven. Yep. We've lost Raven, ladies and gentlemen. Stand by, we actually got Morgan as well. This is all what happens when we do live shows, fellas, and everything that happens, well, that has happened prior to, I always cut it, edit out, made it look all nice and good, but not today! Alright, we're going to go ahead and see if we can be able to go ahead and get Morgan, as well as whoever else onto the podcast.
Do I live?
He lives for the time being.
Darn it, I try so hard to work at this.
I know, this is like the most unpredictable podcast that we have gotten today. People dropping in and out. Microphones acting funny. Apparently Murphy's Law is in effect, full effect. Yeah. Well, it's like what I always say. You know,
that's what you get for having me as a coworker. I tend to have bad luck.
That's alright, we have plenty of bad looks as it is already around over here. But yes.
But do you really want more?
Da, 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 da. So, how has things been going on with you?
Yeah, the only exciting thing is that I finally get a break from school.
God dang.
And, yeah, well, you know, if you were taking calculus, you'd say the same thing.
That's alright, I went ahead and avoided math like it was the plague during my school years. And I do believe we actually have one more person in here. I believe. I'm not entirely sure. Copper, are you about? Nope. Apparently it says that we got Copper.
No.
There we go.
He lives.
Somewhat. Hey, how about that?
I really need to start hiring new assassins. They never do the job.
Well, apparently it was correct simply because Copper has been gone for quite a while. But apparently I guess they just didn't finish off with him. But of course, we now have Raven.
Yes, I have returned because my connection is made of derp, so I had to slap it so it underps.
See, this is exactly that's to the point as to the reason why I hardly ever did live shows, simply because of Murphy's Law.
Eh.
It guaranteed everything to go wrong when you want it to go right.
Oh, yes, definitely. Okay, well, apparently, moving on.
I don't know where you were starting, so yay.
I don't know either, but let's get this show on the road.
Da, 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 da. We were actually just discussing about little tiny roaches, cyber roaches in particular.
Mm-hmm.
Or yes.
Them becoming first responders, that's a good idea.
Yes, we get more Uncle Kagis.
More Uncle Kage's cousins. Distant, hopefully.
Hopefully less drunk, that is.
I mean, they're tough little jerks.
Yes, they are. It probably would make it a lot more easier to find individuals who are trapped underneath rebels and whatnot not because these guys are able to get into crevices and whatnot, but because I could only imagine the screams would only get more louder as somebody would come face to face with a group of cockroaches.
Especially cybernetic ones that are coming. It's like, we are coming to assimilate you.
Ladies and gentlemen,
maybe
this
it's
is actually the first of the Terminator.
There's the prototype. Just you wait. There's going to be a giant liquid pool of roaches following you someday.
Oh dear.
I'm guessing I'm the only one who's not terrified by insects.
No, I'm not terrified by insects. I just know if I come face to face with, let's say, a Weber spider and it comes out of nowhere, I know it's not going to hurt me. But my first instinct is like, you get away from me.
Yeah, apparently...
I kind of just look at it, say, oh, cool.
Although I do know there are individuals that have arachnophobia. To one of my oldest friends in the fandom, he has arachnophobia so bad because he just sees a picture of a spider. It's just enough to set him off. So I tried to be mindful about that.
I came across with at least one particular individual who's like that. Well, as a matter of fact, two technically. But she wasn't all too bad. The irony is, though, that she actually works with the U.S. Forestry Service.
Okay.
Well, if you're not going to be raking around with insects and whatnot, why in the world are you working in the forest?
Well, because there's all kinds of other critters there. It doesn't
Yes.
have to be insects. But then again, to be quite fair about this, if you encountered something like a, why is it that I can't think of the name of it right now?
A wolf spider?
Okay, let's go with that. Let's go with that. A wolf spider or brown recluse around here. If you saw something like that, I'd be like, you could hurt me and send me to the ER. I'm gonna back away slowly and leave you alone. I have a healthy respect for things that can send me to the ER.
Oh, tell me about it. I got bitten plenty enough times by some sort of insect that wanted to go ahead and try to kill me off with their venom or poison.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you would think I'd be more terrified because I had wolf spiders at my house, which is actually where that thought came from in the first place, but...
Huh?
I'd probably be more likely to get a closer look first, then back away slowly.
Mm.
Ah, yes.
But-
Yeah, see, with spiders I have more of an interest in. They're my personal favorite out of all of the creepy crawlies that are out there, really.
Although I'm a strange little gal because stereotypically girls are afraid of snakes. I don't know why this is a thing in our society, but it is. I look at snakes and I think it's like, oh, it's just a garden snake or it's a constrictor. It's like, hi little guy or girl, I'm not sure which one you are. You're not supposed to be here. I'm going to move you away. Just very carefully because I went to my middle school biology class and we had a snake. And I had no problem picking up the snake and wearing it around my neck like a necklace.
Oh my.
Well, keep in mind, number one, this was done under controlled circumstances with the teacher there. Number two, I had to put it back before class because I couldn't go to class and effectively learn if I had a stake around my neck.
Oh, I don't see what the problem would be for that.
It's a distraction, but anyway. It's a cool distraction, especially if it's a biology class, but I have a healthy respect for snakes. Because I just think they're fascinating creatures. But I do know if I have a viper, it's like, yeah, I don't think I'm going to be handling that. I don't think I even want to, get anywhere near their containment because I don't know how to properly handle them, and I do not want to be bitten.
Well, yeah, when it comes to snakes, I'm kind of realized that you don't really want to mess with them too much.
That and
Mostly the poisonous one.
I have seen snakes, vipers that are used for milking, and I have seen video before of snakes that essentially bite the sides of their cages, and I'm like, nope, all to nope, all to nope, 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 with the pulp of nope, 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 nope.
Of course, some of these snakes, particularly with pythons and whatnot, they're capable of getting to being real thick as a telephone pole.
Mm-hmm.
And if you have not handled the snake before, it's just pure muscle, like steel. Flexible steel, I guess you could say.
I guess that is a very creative way of describing it.
Yeah. But these suckers, it's just real amazing with them, with the amount of... God.
And now we have a dinner show. I hope everybody has dinner.
I keep forgetting to turn cell phone off.
Derp.
More derpa derpa moments! Of course, like as I was saying, it's just real amazing with some of these things. And I don't know. I really wouldn't want to have an African hissing cockroach face to face with me if I was trapped underneath a building myself.
What would you rather?
Well, think of it this way.
Would you rather have
Go on,
come
Raven.
after you if you were trapped under a building?
Well, I said I wouldn't like it, but it doesn't mean I would.
Turn
Here's a
off the
courtesy of our-
cell phone.
I know, I'm doing it right now.
Good. And now you must smack your forehead in punishment for you forgetting to turn off your cell phone.
Bad art.
Yes, bad.
Well, like I said, it's not like I would tolerate it, but I wouldn't like it. Simply because I would rather prefer something more like a spider. They're more hairy-like, they're more creepy-crawly, and idealistically better looking than that of a ugly-looking cockroach, especially an African hissing one.
Yeah, beauty is the eye of the beholder, I suppose.
I think the thing with the cockroaches, though, is that, like I said before, they're resilient little jerks who can actually survive a lot. It's pretty impressive how much they can handle.
Oh, most definitely. I mean...
And besides, I wouldn't trust a spider. I'd trust a cockroach more because they don't have venom.
Not all spiders have venom.
Not all of them, but there isn't a single cockroach I know of that has venom. I'm just saying.
So basically it's better safe than sorry approach with you, kind of like with snakes.
Well, you know, if your robotic spider accidentally bit somebody, then you're getting sued. Doesn't matter if you saved them or not. This is America.
True story to that. Oh my.
I don't know. I just feel like cockroaches would be more resilient in the long run.
Well, that is actually pretty well partly true, but however, there are other things that they have as well worked on in order to go ahead and do search and rescue procedures. I know fully functioning robots as well, too, they have actually worked on in order to go ahead and get into these tight little spaces. But, however, cockroaches are a lot more disposable than robots, or cheaper effective, should I say.
Well, keep in mind, cockroaches are doing what they naturally are supposed to do. They're just going around the tight spaces looking for food.
Yes.
Versus a robot that it has to be made, it has to be maintained, it has to be tested, and it can malfunction. I don't know if one's more expendable than the other, but I would just think of if you already have half the programming to begin with a live creature,
Mm-hmm.
and you're not doing anything to harm it long term. You're just using what it would do, what it would do naturally. Then at least it's nothing else. It's interesting science.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, as you said, Ed, it would be a lot more cost-effective in order to go ahead and do this, because you would have to go ahead and build an entire army while you really only need an army of cockroaches with these little mini tiny backpacks. Honestly, I'd like to go ahead and see this kit, because apparently you could go ahead and do a DIY project too. To go ahead and surveillance on your neighbors by using roaches. Yes, you can buy the necessary materials online.
Well, if you're going to spy on your neighbors, do it with style.
This is all starting to sound like CIA stuff right here.
Tad a bit. But still, I'm pretty sure there's going to be in the near future a video of somebody that wants to spy on somebody, be it, a babysitter or somebody that's watching their house or whatnot. And they will do it with cockroaches instead of the fly on the wall. You have the roach on the wall, the roach on the floor.
Instead of the fly on the wall, it's the roach on the floor. I like that.
You're welcome.
Well, apparently, there is one more thing as well. Of course, wild animals with stormtrooper helmets. And of course, I had to go ahead and do this one because, Star Wars Episode 7. Woo!
You could always use more random Star Wars things in the world.
You can never have too much Star Wars themed stuff. What are you talking about?
That's what I just said. You could always have more Star Wars things in the world.
Yes. Never enough. Apparently, the sculptor, New York-based designer Blank William, yes, that's his name.
That's an unfortunate name. Unless that's his own given name, but if that's like his actual name, that's kind of unfortunate.
Yeah, his parents must have had one hell of a sense of humor if they did name him that. Apparently has reinterpreted the familiar future of Star Wars stormtroopers as a series of wild animal armor.
Okay.
Yes! So apparently he did 3 pieces. A rhino, a hippopotamus, and an elephant, which are all in the shapes of stormtroopers. He actually has 2 different versions of those 3. One, that of the elite stormtroopers who have the black armor, and of course your standardized ones who have the white armor. In all honesty, I really like the black and gold one. It really matches.
I just feel sorry for the rhino one. He's never going to hit anything.
Yeah, that's true, especially with that giant horn up.
Well, it doesn't matter what you have. He's now a stormtrooper. He will never hit anything again. He's doomed to a life of misery and no longer being a rhino.
True. At least with the elite stormtroopers, of course, they actually managed to go ahead and shoot down a few battleships, but, yeah.
His accuracy goes from 5% to 15%. So he can sort of hit things now, I guess.
Yes. You have your standards, who pretty much don't hit anything, to your elites, who can hit a few things. But not a whole lot.
He hit that wall behind you. That counts, right?
Oh, I. Yeah, apparently, wow, okay. Each of these have been sculpted with the same aesthetic qualities of the fictional film. Soldiers characterized by glossy surfaces and gilded gold details, which of course you'll know very well in the New Order. As a matter of fact, has anybody actually seen the latest trailers that's been going on with Star Wars Episode 7?
Nope. I've kind of been ignoring them on purpose.
Heretic!
Well, that, and I actually want to watch the movie without seeing half of it before actually watching the movie.
You know, yeah, what's his face? So Andy Mack is pretty much the same thing with spoilers and whatnot, and like,
Well, there are some people.
yes. Apparently I'm not one of them, though. You feed me whatever you can, and then
You're one of
I'll
the other
slice
people.
and interpret it. But apparently the hip roll one actually should be able to go ahead and open up as well with the mouthpiece. That's actually quite interesting. Yay! But we'll actually go ahead and show some of these art pieces and whatnot onto our Facebook account. So you guys go ahead and take a look at some of these interesting designs. I'm actually curious of what in the world he used in order to create them. I know he uses the chrome metal as well as the gold plated. But for the armor itself, I'm actually pretty well curious of how he was able to go ahead and mold these things and what mode he used for them. Doesn't really say, though. Oh well.
Magic.
Yeah. All I know is that they came to be, and that's how they are now. Blank. Blank logic. There we go. But yes,
Nope. Just magic.
Oh.
I guess since it's Star Wars, it's Force magic.
Yes. Get it right. But yes, we'll go ahead and put pictures up as well as some of the links of it in order to go ahead and see some of these, as well as Blank's other works that he went ahead and did too. Flying Feline Fur, yeah, he has that too. So I think that pretty much covers, pretty much calls it. Full cast of Zootopia revealed. Resource searches for moderators, cyber roaches, Africa's wild animals, with stormtrooper helmets. Actually, I'd be curious of how they would actually look if you actually put those things on an animal. Someone needs to make a movie of this.
Let me guess. Stormtrooper cybernetic roach.
Yes, they do.
There shall be art of this in 24 hours.
There's probably already art of this. Probably where I found it.
Yeah. I could already imagine cybernetic roaches and stormtroopers. That would be one hell of a movie right there. Somebody needs to do it.
Sure.
Apparently, moving onward. Brony side. Apparently,
Good thing Raven's here.
I don't know if Raven knows the latest.
He knows more than me.
Yes. Apparently, neither of our bronies was able to go ahead and make it in today. Copper has bad connection, and of course, suspiciously due to Morgan, so because he's trying to go ahead and kill him off.
I
And
never said that.
and of course, Andy Mack is out with a cold. Wuss. So with that,
I took a college algebra test with a cold.
Exactly. I went to... Yeah. I went and did something while I had a cold. I'll think of something. Give me a minute. But anyway, if you have not seen the latest episode of Season 5, Episode 25, which is, of course, the main attraction, that's what it's called. MANE. Apparently, the last song, The Magic Inside, is now actually being submitted into a Daytime Emmy Award. Surprise! Who would have known, right? Especially with all of the music stuff that goes on down over there. Now, where was I? Ah, yes. Now, apparently, the music was actually sang by Lena Rockerhall, which, of course, if you did not know her, my goodness, where have you guys been? Lena is actually a Broadway stage performer, very well. She's also done some acting, too. Go figure. But she has one hell of a voice on her. Apparently, it's shocked the crap out of some of these bronies that I've actually noticed down over there in the chats that I was keeping watch of.
Nope, don't know her. Sorry.
Lena! Rucker Hall?
Nope.
How dare they?
My rock's down the hall. just to point that out.
Oh,
Trying to remember her, and I guess there was nothing to remember for me.
No, of course not. Yeah, apparently, it's already been submitted to the Daytime Emmys. They will actually go ahead and see if they actually win a piece out of this. The music itself, bronies, what are you going to say? However, though, I will say, she really knows how to hit those vocals. And if you're like Morgan and you have not heard of her, then look her up and listen to her stuff. Because, potato. Apparently oh, jeez. Okay, well, upside. This movie is not a Equestria Girls type movie. It's actually not a spin-off, but of the actual MLP series itself that they're making the movie off of. Lo and behold, the movie will be out on November 3rd of 2017. We don't really have a whole lot going on as of right now as to any type of promos, trailers, or anything like that. However, it's been confirmed by Hasbro as well of the date. And I'm just like I said, I'm just glad it's not an Equestria Girl type movie, because the last one was just it gets worse and worse every single one of them. I don't know.
Well, just judging by that poster on the link, it looks like it might be high budget.
It's Hasbro.
But, well, that depends on if they feel like being lazy or not. It could be actually spectacular quality or it could be worse quality. I've seen both kinds. Just be glad it's not live action.
Ah, yes. Well, apparently, this will be one of the more interesting things. I know some of the individuals have always complained that the series themselves always feel like they're being rushed us to the conclusions as, 30 minutes or so. Oh, it's not a whole lot of time for a show. And I know they do the season premieres and season finales where they have at least about an part 2 series that goes on for them. And even then, it feels like it's rushed. So I don't know if this is going to be one of those things or if they'll be going into a whole lot more in-depth detail without making the storyline feeling like it's been rushed. But it'll be one of the more interesting things with the writers, simply because as of lately, they've been doing a hell of a good job with character developments. Dun, 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 dun. And hopefully that's actually one of the more interesting things that we'll go ahead and see of how it's going to be, what the bronies will be reacting to. Raven?
Yes.
What would your input be? Do you really have feelings that the show is rushed?
I do not have anything to add at this time, but if I did, I would definitely have said something.
Meow.
Meow.
Then I'll just say it's rushed. I'll agree with everybody.
Oh, okay.
Because popular opinion.
Yes, mainstream. Apparently, Felicia Day actually gets invited to go ahead and guest star onto season 6 as well. If you do not know Felicia Day, Morgan.
Nope.
Of course not.
Just gonna say it right there. Nope.
Which is exactly the reason why I went ahead and mentioned about it. But she actually played in quite a bit of movies, including Buffy the Vampire Slayer. Morgan?
I actually know that one for once, but never saw it.
Good Wolfie. That was a terrible show.
Then I didn't miss anything.
No, you did not. Apparently a series of tweets about guest stars of Season 6 eventually led to Felicia Day, who seemed to really like the idea. And of course, Big Jim actually caught wind of it, and in Two Pony director fashion, tossed out an invite to her on Twitter. No word yet on the confirmation whether she has accepted of this, but we will be seeing this in a few more months once they start writing up with the scripts. Of course, it takes at least within a year just to go from production to putting it onto the television. Now, whether or not this season 6 will actually be affected or hindered on simply because I know they have a couple of other movies that's going to be coming out. I do believe they're going to be coming up with another Equestria Girls, which I don't vouch or say take my word for it, but if that is true, yeah, I don't really care.
Now you understand my world.
Oh, yes. And of course, we have the season 5 finale promo. Da, 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 da. Which, of course, warning spoilers. If you don't want to go ahead and get into some of this stuff, then turn your station off now.
You monster. But I want to know what the ending is. Not really. But figuratively.
Sorry, not really.
Maybe. Sort of. Not really.
Well, do you want to know or you don't want to know? Please make up your mind.
That is the question I've been asking myself for a long time.
Indecisiveness at its finest.
Yes. Anyways, continue.
Well, anyways, we've actually The promo has actually been posted up onto YouTube, which of course it shows the premiere of, or so I say, the return of Starlight Shimmer, I do believe. Don't get me right. Wrong again. Yeah, Starlight Shimmer. It's because Sunset Glimmer. It's hard to keep up with those dang names because you got Sunset Glimmer, Starlight Shimmer, Twilight Sparkle. Like, god damn, it's just all of these shiny Twilight stuff.
But shiny.
Yes.
Nothing wrong with shiny things.
Exactly. But shiny.
Yes, but it's very hard to keep names situated when they're similar in such a way.
Yes, but shiny.
Yes, but shiny.
That's all
How
you need.
does pony naming work? Just gonna throw that out there.
What was that?
How does pony naming systems work?
Oh, jeez.
They probably just put a bunch of names in a hat, draw 2 of them, and there you go.
That's actually a pretty good question, simply because obviously there is a pattern to it, but I can't quite put my finger onto it.
Well, I could probably buy the whole thing about having like a name of, it's like an object and then an environmental entity. You know, Twilight Sparkle, fine. But the thing is, that would mean, how did Rarity's name work? Is she like Cher? Cher? I did not understand that.
Yeah, there's... I found Rarity to be the more interesting one, because she's just one name that she goes by, kind of like with those celebrities, such as Cher.
Yes.
It could be quite possible because of her profession inside of the boutique, as well as fashion designing.
But if that was true, that would be a term for other fashion designers. But we have Hoity Toity, we have Trenderhoof, we have all these other interesting ponies that, well, with the exception of Trenderhoof, I guess he's not the best example, but they have 2 names.
Mm-hmm.
Rarity just seems to be an interesting example, and that is part of the reason of why I'm curious.
Yeah. Well, I know there's also Zakora, but she's a zebra as well, so it's real easy for her to be the exception because she's a different species.
True.
They gotta have some kind of thing to it. There usually is. And I know it probably won't make sense to some people because it might just be, an office joke. Just for people to laugh at.
I don't know. But then again, let's not stop at pony naming. Let's worry about, how about griffin naming?
Yeah, there's a few griffins that we've come across with. I only know Gilda, though. I do not know the other ones. I know there was a chef one as well. I know there was the king one. I know there was Gilda's grandfather. But I can't, oh my goodness. Freaking Morgan!
You're welcome.
What happened?
Morgan has his avatar dressed as a turkey.
Okay.
Maybe. Just a little.
Just a little.
Trace Rig is fun. That's all I gotta say about that.
Keeping up with the holidays, are we? Yeah, well, I can't name those griffins. I'd have to look them up.
There's your homework. You must look up griffins. You must name every griffin from Griffinstone and around all of Equestria come next show.
Yeah. Well, this is actually the reason why I have Andy Mack and Coppercap, simply because they know these things more better than I do.
Yeah, more better.
Oh, guess I'm gonna have to fail that homework.
Hear, hear. But yeah, it seems to be a real interesting thing with some of these names. And, well, there's King Sombra as well, too.
Mhm.
And, of course, there's Queen Chrysalis. They have one names as well, too.
Mhm.
Chrysalis, once again, different species. She's a changeling, but how do you explain Sombra?
I don't know, but then again, there's not very much backstory that we ever get on Sombra, other than this is our villain of the week. Please do correct me if I'm wrong.
There's just so much potential with him, but yeah, they just went Lord of the Rings with him.
Honestly, Sombra sounds like it might translate to something.
It's
Sounds
quite,
like a dance to me.
yeah, it's quite
Yeah.
possible. I mean, Sakura is a African word for zebra. Who would have
I mean-
thought?
That's what I usually do with names, just because it's kind of interesting to give something somebody can look up.
Yeah. That's what I always do with all of my RP type characters, simply because whenever they. Basically, the name defines their personality. Morgan?
Oh, okay, just looked it up. Sombra is Spanish for shadow. Maybe.
Oh, that's right.
Ole?
Olay!
So yeah, that's why it sounds like a dance. It's Spanish. Well, I'm not wrong on that one, I will say.
Okay, so basically we relate. We relate different types with pony names to objects. Sombra is Spanish for shadow. Twilight Sparkle, well, twilight hours, and of course he sparkles like the stars. Go figure on that one.
Who's Sombra again?
King Sombra. Shadow.
Doesn't
Spanish.
help. Doesn't help. I know nothing about him.
Of course not.
All I know about King Sombra is he's villain of the week. That is it. Or villain of the story arc, to be more particular.
Well, what creature is he? What does he look like? Or, you know what? I'll just Google it.
Let me Google that for you. Like, what creature is King Sombra from My Little Pony?
Yes.
Well, I mean, if he's dark colored, then the name's easy enough.
Well, Celestia and Luna banished him, and of course made him into this shadow entity as they sealed him up. So that's where the name comes from.
Oh, well. You see, that would have been easier if you told me that.
Well, guess what? I just did. But as to whether or not is he a pony or is he something else, that's a good question.
Probably something else. It's always
Pony
something
that
else.
joined the dark side.
Because they have crystals.
He's a pony that listened to too much Linkin Park.
Good point. Well, at any rate, I guess we go ahead and get a generalized overview of how names go. You name it after an object. But, tree hugger. I think that's the most obvious one.
I think hoity-toity would probably qualify as well. That's
Hoity-toity.
not after an object.
Well, let's look. Well, let me see.
Let me Google that for you.
Brought to you by Google.
This entire episode has been brought to you by. Nah.
Googling the Google.
Yeah, well, like I said, it's just one of those more interesting things. Obviously, an object as well as a action. I think that would be our solution. A pony's name comes from an object and an action. How about that?
A description of them, I guess.
Okay, if that's true, that wouldn't work for Pinkie Pie.
She's pink, isn't she? I'm just going off the assumption she's pink.
Well, her
But
first.
you have to name it after an object and an action. So if she's a pie, being an object, but she's Pinkie.
Well, I'm assuming that's a play on Cutie Pie, considering how close
Possibly.
they are.
Then again, Pinkie Pie is a kind of an interesting character in herself because we actually know her full name.
Yeah, that's one of the more interesting things as well, too. I was about to go ahead and mention that with. So we have these two oddball types, which of course is Pinkie Pie. Full name, which is Pinkamena Diane Pie. Yes, they said it in the episode. And Rarity, who seems to not have a last name. Kind of like with King Sombra and Chrysalis and Zecora. Only she's a pony. That does not have a last name.
I'm going to ask, is Rarity's character a little withdrawn? Not withdrawn.
No.
I guess shy or outgoing.
She is very outgoing.
Oh, yes.
Then no, that pretty much pokes any ideas I have.
Well, you could say that Rarity's personality is a rarity. Because she's the element of generosity. But, my goodness. Seriously, we derail all kinds around over here, don't we?
I didn't know we had a train to begin with.
Choo choo.
I'm sorry, we do not have a train. We actually have a flat rail.
Nope, don't know what it is.
I'm sure Maku or Maku, Master Wolf, what the hell you want to call him by, would probably know what that is. But yeah, season 5 finale would go ahead and go on with the premiere of, what's her name? So we've gotten into all the details of the name that I've already forgotten what her damn name is. Starlight Glimmer, there we go.
Take Sharpie, writes Starlight Glimmer onto your forehead. Moving on.
Moving on.
I don't think that'll work. He can't see it. It'll work for other people, but not for him.
Okay, fine.
Better idea. Put a hat and just tape a postcard on the edge of the rim so you see it all the time.
Oh, there you go. I have plenty of hats.
Okay. Goes, takes that Sharpie.
Just
Hang it over on the brim of the hat so you can see it.
Just don't walk into roads.
No, that'd be bad. Although, you know what? That would be an interesting game right there. Every time you forget a pony's name, you have to write it down. Then you're gonna have. That's just an interesting mnemonic device. It's like you will write Starlight Glimmer 1,000 times. Like, what's her name?
Oh, jeez. Sound like you're trying to go ahead and memorize some of these things back in school.
Well, yeah. Unless you got a better
sure-
device to use.
Huh?
Continue.
I have no idea what Raven went ahead and said.
I was just saying, it's like, hey, unless you have a better device to use.
Oh, well, obviously not. But in all honesty, why would you want to memorize something that I hardly ever use? Except for these rare times whenever Andy Maku and or Copper is not on.
Because they don't have your memory. You can impress them by actually remembering characters' names.
Hey, I didn't go ahead and proclaim myself as a brony here.
You don't have to be a brony to know a name of a character.
Yes, but it's probably helpful because you're more of a fan.
Well, I'm safe because I don't know anybody's name anyways, unless it's written right there.
Yes, Morgan seems to be the only exception around over here, simply because rocks.
No, potatoes and rocks.
Ah!
Because potatoes rock.
Sure.
Morgan,
Yes.
you really had to go ahead and use that pun, didn't you?
Yep. Well, am I wrong?
Yes.
No. Well, I think I'm right. So, that's all I need.
Well, no, honestly, how do potatoes rock?
Mashed potatoes are awesome. Especially when somebody who knows how to make them actually make them. Plus potato skins, too. And if you make a bread bad enough, it does turn into a rock.
I'm not even going to go down that road. Oh. But yeah, Starlight Simmer premieres season 5 finale 2-part episode. Apparently, with the promo of this one, it seems like they're going to be dabbling in time travel once more. Go figure, since we did a bit of foreshadowing of that in a previous episode. And of course, this will be actually one of the more interesting ones, simply because we actually get to see Celestial right once more, and we'll actually see if the Royal Guards are actually useful in battle. Or if they're just for show, like some people speculate. But that's enough for now.
If they're not main characters, they're probably going to be useless. I'm just saying.
I'd have to disagree with that one, simply because background pronies, yeah.
And they're called background ponies because they're not in the main series.
AJ is best background pony.
No idea who that is, so...
But I think... Yeah, we'll be done with that for the time being for now. Hopefully we can be able to go ahead and get What's-His-Face next week, so we won't have to go ahead and be stumbling on names or whatever else onto the brony side of the news.
Offered plenty of Sharpies.
Yes.
Well, hopefully the two people who actually understand what's going on will be here.
Most definitely, at least one of the two, simply because I cannot go through with that, simply because I just butcher the hell out of things. As a matter of fact, brony name or not, I still butcher the hell out of a name. As a matter of fact, the guy that went ahead and did the, Cyborg Roaches. I butchered it, well, actually, I didn't butcher his name all that well. I thought it would be with his last name. But yes, as Morgan will go ahead and vouch for you, I do that a lot.
Their names. They're gonna get butchered.
Exactly. In the meantime, this will be the end of our show. Until next week. Hopefully we've been...
Somebody's too excited about that.
Maybe just a little bit, simply because of all the derps and whatnot that we've actually went ahead and had. And the irony of it is that every single time, whenever we do live shows, something always happens. I don't know what it is. Murphy's Law, something, what?
I think something always happens, period. It's just you can get it out normally.
Yeah, but I don't really have to go ahead and do a whole lot of editing. I mean, I don't have to go ahead and filter out dropped calls. I don't have to go ahead and get rid of scratchiness as well. I don't have to go ahead and do what do you call it? My brain's fried, so you know what? We're going to go ahead and call it today. But yes, live shows are always a pain in the ass. However, maybe in the future we might be able to go ahead and get things a little bit more organized and whatnot with practice. I know during last time we stopped doing live shows was simply because with Ryan. Ryan. And apparently now he's starting to go ahead and show up in chat sites and whatnot. As a matter of fact, Ryan and... Well, that's actually one of the things that we're going to have to go ahead and start discussing about. Ryan... Queer, as well as another guy. I forgot what his name is. And
Takes out Sharpie.
And Maku is actually doing a podcast station called Wolfstream. They're going to be taking over onto the gaming programs that we actually used to go ahead and do and start doing that. Morgan, I'm not sure if you'd be interested in joining up with those bunch, but
I will be once I actually get a computer that can probably handle games with higher quality than 5 pixels.
yeah. Well, I, for one, am glad that I no longer have to go ahead and do the gaming segment. Wolfstream will be managed by Ryan and Krur. You could be able to go ahead and catch that program next Saturday as they'll go ahead and start doing the recordings for that. However, I'm not so sure if they want to go ahead and do the pre-recordings of it or if they're going to be doing live. But either way, I'm not going to do AV editing. At least not anymore.
For now, until you actually get a reason to stop doing live again.
I have plenty enough reasons, but the problem is that life has just suddenly gotten in a way that I can no longer partake in the audio video editing.
Don't worry, life will get in the way again and force you to go back to doing other things.
See, this is the reason why I need Fireblaze back. He was originally the ones that he used to do the AV editings. However, unfortunately, he went ahead and signed up for the U.S. Air Force and is no longer with us. Bastard.
But now we get to plane, so I think it equalizes.
Probably does. So, we'll probably be getting DJ's Corner as well too. Tradon hadn't been able to go ahead and get our list of DJs as well as bands to go ahead and put together for the segment, so we weren't able to go ahead and do it for this week, but however, I will be getting on his butt for next week, and you could go ahead and watch Wolf's stream. Oh my goodness. Ryan! He really should have picked another name for that show, but oh well. Until then, this has been the cute and lovable DJ Arc dipped in awesome sauce. Until next week, everybody. You have been listening to In the Spotlight here on the Omega Republic, and I have been here with...
Some random guy. I don't know who I am. I was hoping you could tell me.
The random guy that lives underneath a rock.
Well, it's a nice rock, okay? Don't be offending it.
And of course, Raven is quiet down over there, so I'll go ahead and say that the lovely Raven as well has been here too. Hadn't heard her from a while. Always nice to have you on the show.
Thank you very much. Always nice to be here when I can.
I know, right? You and everybody else is starting to become one of those rarities. Morgan and Andy Mac are our primary ones that really start getting involved.
Which is amazing, because I thought school would totally drop kick me out of this.
Da-da-da!
Somehow it hasn't.
It's a miracle! Hey, I thought you were out of school.
Only for this week.
Oh, sad.
No, I get to go back into more tests and finals.
You get to do exams!
And then I'm out for a couple weeks.
Oh. Woohoo! Well, we'll go ahead and see you next week, everybody. Hopefully, well, what was it? DJ's Corner will be coming on at 1 p.m. Pacific Standard Time on Saturday. Followed by In the Spotlight, and of course, whenever Wolves Stream does. I hadn't even got an official time for those morons. But probably sometime in the evening, like 5, 7 o'clock, knowing though. You know how young guys are, getting up late and whatnot. Yeah. Ba 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 ba. Everybody say bye.
Hi.
Are you, Morgan?
Huh?
You're all silly. Till next week, everybody. Bye-bye.
Bye. see.